Okay, Venus Theory, your gear isn't the problem. You know who he is, the man, the myth, the legend.
What I mean is I have a lot of stuff and I don't use it enough, so I'm making
the first
a
kit
video
we have to talk about is the
specifically
VVS Santana drum kit by Dark. Dark Boy's got some dope drum kits, especially for a range of
That looks like a Walmart Kenny Beats there. Who are any of these people, dude? Okay, I recognize that guy. I don't know his name, though. Wait. Oh, it's Mixbus TV. Tetro. No.
For me, and I'm sure for many of you, this is how it all got started. The good old Shure SM57. These cost about $99 new. You could find one for about $60 used. But this particular one was free because I stole it from my school.
Busted, dare I say? I didn't know we were going to get a confession to a crime.
When you need an audio interface, and at the time, I did not
Imagine his next upload is just like, I've been arrested.
have one, and thanks to living in a little podunk farm
I need your help. It's literally, I need your help.
town, I was not likely to get my hands on one anytime soon. Instead, I fired up my pawn shop laptop, hopped onto the World Wide Web, and grabbed myself a copy of Audacity, and I recorded my song.
Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I'm ashamed.
One layer
I do not support this degeneracy, and I hope you guys do not either.
at a time with my phone's built-in microphone. No metronome, no headphones, no nothing. Just raw dogging my way to music, one take at a time. Eventually, I saved up my birthday money and such and bought a copy of Mixcraft 4 from Guitar Center, and for a Christmas present,
I think you're better off with Audacity, man.
I got my very first field recorder, the Line 6 Backtrack Plus with built-in microphone. With all that, a pair of Walmart earbuds and some of the loops and pretty primitive MIDI programming built into Mixcraft at the time, I was able to make my
Did he say what year this was?
very first song. It wasn't great, but for a 14-year-old, it was something. There's a lot to be said for resourcefulness as a catalyst for the creative process. Despite not having access to a fraction of the gear I have now, this is maybe the time in my life when I made the most music, because I just had to deal with what I had, and there was not a damn thing on earth that was gonna stop me. Even today,
I think there's a lot more to it too, though. You're a lot more mystified about the possibilities of making music when you first start, you know? I feel like the further you are into it, you're kind of a little more less, you get a little more jaded.
I think the fastest way to get myself out of those creative ruts whenever I fall into them now and again is just to work with what the good Lord gave me here, because the hardest way to make something is to wait until the time is right to do it. For a couple weeks, I worked with my friend David Hillowitz on a new string library for a decent sampler, where we recorded the sounds of our cellos and violas and violins. And
Hey, what the hell, dude? I thought you spent all year on that plugin. Now you're saying you were making string libraries? I thought you spent all year on that plugin. Not only am I finding out he's a thief, but he's a liar, dude. This is... Oh, dude, Venus. We need to have a talk here, man.
And ran those recordings through some of our favorite boutique guitar pedals. After it was all done, I posted a YouTube short about the whole process, and the point of it being to try a dumb idea once in a while, because sometimes they turn out pretty interesting. But on that video, I got a comment from Giovanni Alighieri, hopefully I'm saying that right, that really stood out to me. Giovanni said, "This idea assumes that you have very good mics and preamps in the first place, which is not my case with two NT2 Rhodes and a Scarlett 4i4. Now, what I think is particularly funny about this is that I don't think Giovanni knew I recorded all of my parts for this library using this, an MXL R144 I got used from a Guitar Center about 10 years ago for like $60. Now, granted, the microphone was
Absolutely disgusting.
running into the front of a $1,300 audio interface.
Guys, Venus Theory is not a twat, okay? He's a liar and a thief, all right? Get it right.
But I don't think that was really even necessary. In fact, for the sake of proof, I bet you I could make a new sample library right now for even cheaper.
Would have been way funnier if you ran over a cat. This guy doesn't know comedy, man. This guy does not know comedy.
Hey, busy.
Wait a minute. This is a reference mic, is it not? That looks like a reference mic to me. Measurement microphone. Hey, thank you for gifting the tier 1 sub, EXE. Appreciate that. GIMP. All that other stuff forgivable. Thief, liar, not running over a cat. But GIMP? GIMP? Are you kidding me right now? Fucking GIMP?
And what do you know? It's a National
This guy,
Post
dude.
Office Day miracle, Charlie Brown, and whatever. The whole thing's free. Download it down there. But there's a better
GIMP owns. It doesn't. It just doesn't. All right. You have warped your mind into thinking that GIMP is good. Wait, I use GIMP. I'll get my core. You mean coat? See, GIMP owners can't even spell. They can't spell. Guys, don't use GIMP. All right. Look, it makes you stupid. It makes you stupid.
point I wanted to make with all this stuff. Fact of the matter
Who's
is,
going to hell? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Weaver, it sounds like you are just mad you were paying for Photoshop. I am mad I'm paying for Photoshop, but GIMP is even worse, dude. I'd rather pay for Photoshop than use GIMP. I've said this before. I think GIMP was a psyop made by Adobe to make people buy Photoshop. It's like 100 steps back. No.
there's always going to be a new graphics
What are
card.
you going to say next? What are you going to say next? Use FL Studio?
There's always going to be an updated camera lens. There's always going to be a better iPhone. There will always be something new on the horizon that represents maybe some sort of a solution, and the grass is always going to seem a whole hell of a lot greener, which translates to our old familiar friend. In the last couple of years, there's been an overwhelming rise of equipment influencer content online, from the barrage of YouTube videos
Hey, Walmart Kenny Beats. There we go.
on every
Oh, who's that? Oh, I can't see who it is.
embargo drop day to endless
I can't
social
see it.
media content about the latest and greatest LUT packs and cord packs and
I want to appear in his video. Dude, put me in your video.
whatever the this thing is supposed to be. As part of researching for this video, I decided to sit down and do a little bit of an experiment, and I'm curious if the results are maybe similar for you out there. I sat down and compared the last year of my YouTube watch history as it relates to gear content as versus the amount of music I had made every month, and it turns out mainlining the flood of content is pretty bad for my ability to actually create anything. Throughout the lifespan of this channel, I've been on kind of both sides of the coin here. On the one hand, as a creator, I was part of the endless embargo day drops of videos of new
Audius, the future of music streaming. Wait, did he upload that? What the hell? I gotta watch that video. I gotta see that video.
plugins and gear and whatever. And that was fun for a
I gotta see that.
while, up until you realize it's just not. And it's all part of this kind of content pipeline of sludge nothingness. And as a consumer, seeing all these videos coming out every release day and whatever, you start to realize there's this growing sense of an unspoken rule of don't do, buy. And that's really frustrating. It's maybe worth cutting in here to point out, and maybe this is a bit of a hot take,
Like it's not really that serious. I use FL Studio and you cannot shame me. I'll try. I'll try. His stash looks like a huge eyebrow. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what mustaches look like though.
because you enjoy collecting gear and instruments and plugins or whatever, doesn't mean you need to make music with them. I don't think there's anything
Okay, I
wrong
got another one for you. His beard looks like an upside down mushroom or a sailor's anchor.
with that whatsoever. Just
Motion music in the background though. Yeah, I'm about to cry. He needs to stop it. This is not okay.
because you bought an expensive mirrorless
Stop being poor. Exactly, dude.
camera setup and take photos with it once every 8 months, who cares? That's totally fine if you just enjoy that. I've got plenty of instruments and gear and random things laying around my house here that I've never made a
He's a sad boy. Venus Theory's a sad man.
single song with, and that's great. I just like having them around, and I play them every once in a while, and it brings me a lot of joy. And if anyone has a problem with that, f those people for telling you how to enjoy your own hobby. But that being
Nah, f that. I'm telling you how to enjoy your own hobby, all right? Don't use GIMP. Don't use FL Studio. Only use Audacity, all right? And pay for Adobe, all right? Pirating is bad. Maybe he is so sad because he lives with the guilt of stealing that mic. Maybe. You know what? I think it's rounding out now. I'm starting to see the whole picture, I think.
Being said, I've found myself sucked down this rabbit hole of gear acquisition syndrome many times. I've even been going through it a bit lately with really wanting to upgrade my camera body very badly. And that's the problem, is when this actively inhibits my ability to create something. And that's the person that this video is for. So that, I guess, brings us to the question.
I'm suffering from gas too. I know what you mean, style childish. Style? How the style childish.
Where does gear acquisition syndrome really come from? And more importantly, what can we really do about it? In 2008, Stanford professor Brian Knutson conducted a study on gambling that found that the most significant brain activity related to the activity of gambling was not in the win itself, but in the anticipation of it. And I'm sure that you can identify with that feeling all too well. You see the new thing, you get excited about it, you buy the new thing, you get more excited, you wait and wait, it finally shows up, you get it all put together and hooked up, and it turns out it doesn't make any music on its own. So the natural solution is to buy your new piece of gear.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been big into like gear acquisition. The only thing I really got hyped on was the Push 3, and then I realized like pretty quickly after I got it, I was like, oh, I don't know why I got so hyped about this to begin with.
A new piece of gear to be friends with. And that's maybe where the root of the problem comes into play. Justifying behavior that makes no sense whatsoever. There was a really interesting paper from students of Harvard and the University of Michigan written back in 2015 that pointed out that when consumers are presented with an opportunity to upgrade to a new thing, they are prone to act more carelessly with their existing thing by breaking it or losing it or something along those lines because it justifies the act of upgrading to the new thing. And I think all of this really supplements the idea that when we see a flaw in something, we're very prone to exaggerating that flaw if it serves to justify a desired outcome. And all of this really circles back to Freud's idea of defense mechanisms. We tend to
Freud looking like a weirdo there.
Act in the interests of ourselves, and we will do a lot to
The new mode came out. I'm gonna throw mine down the stairs. Yeah.
make sure that those acts can be justified to ourselves. I guess the truth that we really don't like to face is that you often need a lot less than you'd think. In the end, it's not about the camera, it's about the photographer behind it. In fact, as I'm sitting here editing this video, I see that just a couple days ago, Heinbach released a whole new album using a Casio SK1 and an iPad. The Casio SK1 is an old sampler keyboard from the 80s that I think you could buy for about $100, and it borders on being a toy, and an iPad is just an iPad, and it's
Oh yeah. That thing's for watching YouTube, right?
incredible.
And Roblox.
Incredibly inspiring to me to think that one of my favorite artists was able to make a whole new body of work with such a limited setup. And I think it really is that almost careless and reckless sense of creativity that we all need to embrace now and again.
How's that impressive though? I mean, like that Madlib and Freddie Gibbs album was made on an iPad. There's been lots of stuff made in the 80s, 90s with like that we consider completely inferior nowadays.
Artists. I mean, sure, the odd bit of fancy gear or high-end plugins can help, but it's never the deciding factor in your ability to just make something right now. And I think that's true of every artist. I'm about 80% certain it was Seneca who said something to the effect of, and I'm probably paraphrasing a bit here, we're so stingy with money and stuff, but we're so easily giving of our time. And that's the one resource we can't make more of, especially by buying a bunch of gear that turns into glorified furniture.
Oh my God, I'm frozen. What the How long have I been like this? How long have I been this way? Why have you guys not told me? Why you not say nothing? I did say something. Hours? What? We thought you were just thinking. I don't know why my camera does that with the... It has something to do with my dummy battery. I don't know. Oh my God. That's for dissing us GIMP users? It only does it on stream.
Go create stuff. There have been tons of examples of artists using crappy...
I kind of want to like pull up... Wait, I kind of want to like check how far back it was like that. There's no way. It's doing it again? Oh my God. What the man? All right, guys, hold on. You know what? I think we're gonna have to wrap this up today. We're gonna have to wrap this up. That's the thumbnail.
because it's all they had access to, or it was just something that inspired them to make incredibly successful
That's it. I'm putting this
releases.
over here.
Outside of the mega successful acts, it goes without saying that there are countless artists around the world making music and samples and such every single day with even...
Who the f are any of these people, dude? Have you guys heard of any of these people? Dude, he's in the deep cuts. He's in the deep cuts of YouTube music production. I've never heard of any of
mega
this stuff.
successful acts, it goes without saying that there are countless artists around the world making music and samples and such every single day with even the most basic gear. And if it doesn't inhibit them, then why should your assumed need for something inhibit you? The point of all this being, as long as you have what is truly necessary to the process, then your need for something is only going to hold you back for as long as you let it. So
yeah, the thing about Venus Theory videos is, like, he has a good point he's making here, but I feel like there's a lot of, like, circular, like, kind of dancing around the thing in order to make the video longer and more artsy. Hey, I noticed he's got a really smooth chest, too. Dude, him and that Ben Jordan guy should collab.
get off the internet and go make something, I guess, in less words. Or don't. But just remember, whether you do or whether you do not, time is gonna pass anyway, and regret for having not tried sure makes suffering with existence a whole
Yeah, it's
lot.
long-winded. That's a good way to put it. Okay, I got something to
The
say
end.
here. This video convinced me to steal a Moog, to pick up a Moog, and not pay for it. Or I could also say this video convinced me to shave my chest. Press 1 if I should write the Moog thing, or press 2 if I should say this video convinced me to shave my chest. What do you guys think is better? 2? Okay, wait, this video convinced me to shave my chest. Alright, guys, make sure you upvote that comment, and also check out his video. Venus Theory, your gear isn't the problem, but stealing and lying is a big-ass problem. Big problem here.
Bang Incorporated.